because they've never managed a recurring monthly billing relationship.
Yeah.
They've never had, like, they basically sold the car to the dealer sold it to the person, and they were out. Now they're having to think. So if you look at all the car companies right now, and this is good news for your watchers, is they're all looking for people who have experience in
that understanding. But you know what I'm thinking when you're telling me this, this is the new TV. Welcome back. This is Marion Ranchet, founder of Streaming Made Easy. I'm having again another amazing conversation with a fellow exec within the ecosystem. Let me welcome David Purdy. You're from Stingray?
I am. Thank you. Yeah, thanks
Lovely.
for having me.
Well, so David, I think for those who maybe do not know Stingray, you're a Canadian company, correct?
We are. We're publicly traded. We're on the Toronto Stock Exchange. We've been around for 20 years, public for 10. Market cap about 1.1 billion. So a small, big company or a big, small company. One of the
Nice, not bad. And you have a knack for music. Your thing is very much music at the core, right?
90% of what we do is music or music adjacent for sure.
And so that means that you're operating with it, music streaming, audio streaming, but, music with video, radio, etc.
Yeah, we have four main lines of business. We provide music to bars, restaurants, hotels, airlines, grocery, pharmacy, big box retail. That business has become sort of more of a programmatic advertising supported business, so it's kind of interesting. But it's the old Muzak. Remember when you used to go through the grocery store? Then we own radio stations.
Okay.
And then we bought TuneIn just before Christmas. So we have an app that aggregates the world's radio stations, podcasts, and some curated music channels. And then we have the broadcast and streaming group, which I spend most of my time on, where we provide AVOD, SVOD, fast channels to historically cable, satellite, and IPTV, but now more importantly, OTT.
Okay, and so you have brands like Quello, that's you guys, right?
Yeah, Quello's like concerts on demand, the Netflix of concerts. It's got like 5,000 concerts and music docs. Then we have one around ballet, opera, symphony orchestra called Classica. Another one based on jazz. So, and then we get into like health and wellness. We got a Zen Life, and then we have the world's largest karaoke library. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, so like 170,000 karaoke tracks, and
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the first time I came across your company, I thought it was fascinating because I thought you were a music label at some point, and I had you pictures in the music business. But then when you dig, you see exactly what you've just described, which is multi-vertical, multifaceted, multi-business model.
Our CEO always jokes that his favorite musician is EBITDA, but
it feels like you are businessmen and women at heart. I love that.
But everybody there who works there, I'd say 70% of them are in a band, so there is a real passion for music too.
You are passionate about music.
But I was not hired for my musical talents.
Okay, that's good to know. I won't ask you that, not to sing or anything. We can do that later.
Perfect.
But I think what's interesting is, and I love free streaming, but today I want to talk about the subscription economy, right? So we're in a very hybrid world. So of course people are going to be dabbling between free options, free, not so free with ads, and completely paid and no ads. And so I want to focus a bit on the subscription economy because what we're seeing, and our partner Bango on this video series just released a report where we looked at, of course, the different categories where subscription is growing like crazy. It's still video at the top.
Yes.
But of course, we're seeing, music still very powerful, news struggling, but we're seeing AI popping up with people taking subscription to ChatGPT, et cetera, et cetera. And so, of course, the question is, how many subscription can actually one person have? There's a limit to that. And in that report, the number for the US, so it's 5.2 per home. In the UK, 5.7. And so people are spending in between, 50 and 80 bucks.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
So my question to you is, how do you, in this ecosystem, do you do bundles? What is your strategy to make sure that, you are acquiring new subscribers to this offer?
Right. So I should declare my conflict of interest up front. So looking at me, you wouldn't guess it, but I'm quite old, and I used to be in the cable industry. So
Okay.
so bundles are, was my bread and butter. I spent most of the 90s and the early 2000s, in a bundle, creating bundles. So and then I became like a bit like a reformed smoker. I wanted nothing to do with bundles.
You wanted everything free.
Everything
right?
free, and I think part of it was, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think the bundles of the old ecosystem became very uncustomer centric.
Yeah.
They weren't being driven by the customer needs. They were driven sort of by the selfish needs of the companies. And so and sometimes, that went too far. I think the new bundling makes a ton of sense. We're very supportive of it. We just want to make sure that the bundles are customer centric bundles and not corporate centric bundles. But we have about 5 or 6 premium subscription products that we offer. One around concerts, ballet, opera, symphony orchestra, some health and wellness, some karaoke. So with Amazon Prime channels, we've created a bundle everywhere outside of the US, ironically.
Okay.
So we sell them as our 5 premium SVODs in a bundle. We're now starting to explore other partners that we could bundle with. So, and for me, it's old hat. It's kind of back to the future.
Yeah. History repeating a bit.
But I think
that.
it does make sense. And I have 4 stepkids, a girlfriend, and I'm sure we subscribe to the same service 3 times in the same house. So I would love to figure out a way to be more efficient and manage one bill.
Yeah,
et cetera.
absolutely.
So I like what Bango's doing. I like the sort of rebundling or the creating new bundles. And I like the idea of creating new and original bundles. So if you look at the work we do in cars, so we've made our karaoke product available in Tesla and BYD,
really cool,
and a bunch of other OEMs. The anchor of that bundle in Tesla is the assisted driving.
Yeah, well, which is good news.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be a bit scared.
It's true. Karaoke
while driving, like just a recipe for disaster.
It is a recipe. So assisted driving is for sure the anchor tenant. But they wanted other things to be in that bundle.
Yeah. Interesting.
And in France, Renault is looking at creating bundles. I think the government's actually said you can offer connectivity to the car, but you can't offer it exclusively. It has to be part of an automotive bundle. I don't know what the regulations are.
So I don't know about that specific regulation, but if you look at from a customer perspective, and I love what you said about not building corporate bundles, meaning those that really serve the fact that we want to get our CPS for every subscriber, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But really building something that people want. And usually when you do that, you need to do 2 things. Need the data.
Yes.
But also bring that flexibility, that ease of use, and so not repeat that master fat bundle.
Yeah.
Where you're paying 120 whatever, and you're actually just consuming a subset of that. Going back to the car manufacturers, I think that's fascinating, and it shows how the subscription economy is everywhere.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you want to have a customer relationship that is a recurring relationship, you need to bring value every month.
Yes.
And things like connectivity or assistant driving, those are commodities. Or utilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like bringing content on top.
Yes.
So aside from the regulation, Renault pushing whatever else they want inside that bundle, I think that makes a lot of sense.
I agree, and I think one of the things that the car companies, so we also own radio stations.
Yeah.
And what we know is that we make most of our money on the drive to work and the drive home from work. We also know that we've never shared that money with the OEMs.
Yeah.
So now the OEMs are like, they're rethinking their whole business, right? So they enable the radio on the to and from work,
cars.
but they've never been able to monetize that or participate in that revenue stream. So now with data and connectivity and advanced advertising, they're going to be able to sort of be partners in that. So it creates an interesting thing. The other thing they've never been able to do is their radio offering in a Ford is the exact same radio offering as in a Mercedes, and
it shouldn't.
Well, I think they have their own brand aspirations. So Renault is very cool. They know exactly who they are, who buys their cars, who doesn't buy them. Karaoke is sort of a fun thing, so it kind of fits with a number of their brands. So being able to create an offering inside the car that sort of reflects the brand and helps them sell the cars.
Interesting.
But they're kind of struggling too, though, because they've never managed a recurring monthly billing relationship.
Yeah.
They've never had, like they basically sold the car to the dealer sold it to the person, and they were out. Now they're having to think. So if you look at all the car companies right now, and this is good news for your watchers, is they're all looking for people who have experience in
that understanding.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm thinking when you're telling me this, this is the new TV. So like, you know, TVs used to be just a device. Hardware manufacturers were making, you know, money on selling one.
Yes.
Except that the cycle is getting longer and longer.
Right.
And so they need to find, and the margins are so small that they need to find a way to actually, you know, extract value from that device. The car is the same. So potentially we're going to be seeing, hopefully we're not going to see 20 different, you know, car OSs and have the BMW OS and etc. and XYZ. But it's interesting. It would be interesting to see if there's going to be less fragmentation and perhaps a couple of players who are good and are being that layer. I don't know what you've seen right now.
Well, I think they're all early days, nascent.
Yeah.
And for sure, there's the people who are. And it's unclear where it'll land. And you remember when Samsung and LG got into the channels business, initially, I'm sure they were treated as oddities within the company. Like, who are you? And we're selling glass, and why are you? And then now, the revenue streams from Samsung, you know, Samsung fast channels are material. So they now have a seat at the table when they're deciding what to do. Same thing with the car company. So right now, there's like the people who are designing the cars and trying to sell the cars, and they have a lot of say. And then there's the people who are trying to figure out how they'll monetize it. Yeah, so it's interesting why they're putting content in the car. And you know, we'll go to the Beijing Auto Show in 2 weeks' time, and we'll see, you know, the number of screens in there is incredible. For sure, the plan right now is to make the car more interesting and help sell the car. But medium to long term, you know that there's going to be a recurring revenue, whether it's advertising or subscription. They have aspirations in that regard.
I think what you were saying at the top, you've been in this business for a while, and
we used to sell puppets.
No, but it's interesting. It means that, you know, if things are going full circle and we're reinventing the wheel, and it's fine. It is what it is. I think what's interesting is that essentially, from what you've said already, there's a new group of, you know, potential, you know, subscriber pool coming from the car manufacturers. Question for what you guys do. Anyone else that you could see yourself partnering with? Because of course, you know, I'm sure you do the telcos, the cables, the cars, etc. But you know, anyone kind of out of the ordinary that perhaps you want to be working with?
So since maybe 2005, I've been trying to figure out a way to create content bundles that allow for differentiation and real customer leverage in the mobile space.
Okay,
And I've been a part of dozens of failed experiments. And I can't think of any time where a telco got the rights to content and ended up winning a market share battle or created real operational leverage. But I still believe that there's a bigger play in mobile. So I'm spending a lot of time thinking about how do we bundle in with mobile. And then I also would like to figure out how do we bundle our content. So we've gamified karaoke. So it's funny, we had a karaoke product for Tesla. It was a relatively Spartan experience. It was just sort of the lyrics and no microphone. And then we started doing business with China, and the Chinese, BYD in particular, were like, well, you need a microphone. And we're like, well, in the car?
We need lights?
We want a microphone in the car. And they go, and you need scoring.
Oh, wow.
So we had to put scoring, gamification. There's a lot of work to create the metadata links to show if you're hitting the right pitch or tone. We even have auto-tune in the microphone. So it's like sort of next generation. But now that we've done that, we're like, okay, maybe gaming manufacturers and gaming platforms with our gamified karaoke. So we're looking at doing stuff, you know, with Roblox and, you know, Netflix.
As you should. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. And so I think on mobile you have something because, so let's be clear, and we've said it today, the big screen is super important, but we always have this thing, you know, in our hands all day long. And also, I will say, in territories, continents that are more mobile-centric, and I'm thinking about Africa, being French, you know, super interested in what's going on the continent, and clearly having a mobile subscription is table stakes. Having internet, TV, not so much. And so we tried, I was at Orange for many years, and we were trying as well at the time, how can you have a video or TV value proposition for that device specifically? It is tricky, but it was fascinating having you on. Thank you so much for sharing. I did not expect the karaoke nor the course, but again, there's a lot of great players in the subscription economy. So thank you very much, David, for being with us.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Yes. And this is one of our last episodes. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you next time.